Drink in the sweetness of Shabbat. Take a moment just to feel ourselves fully arrive here in the Sabbath. Maybe to breathe out the week. Breathe in the sweetness of the Sabbath. Grateful for this time together. So welcome everyone. I'm Rabbi Debbie Steele on the Bima with my clergy colleagues, with Rabbi John Linder, Cantorial Soloist Todd Herzog. And we're just glad to be with all of you and with everyone who's joining us on home via stream. Just so nice to be together as we welcome in the Sabbath. And speaking of welcoming in the Sabbath, I want to invite up Laura Miller, who's got some words of introduction as well.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Laura Miller, member of Temple Solel's Board of Trustees. We're so glad to have everyone here tonight. Welcome. We'd like to thank Alan and Rita Cohen for sponsoring the Oneg in honor of their 65th anniversary. Mazel Tov. We'd also like to thank Lee and Jill Weiss for sponsoring the Oneg in honor of their 60th wedding anniversary. Mazel Tov. We would like to thank Marvin and Barbara Chasen for sponsoring the Oneg in honor of their 54th wedding anniversary. Mazel Tov to them. And also thank you to Neil and Peggy Trachtenberg for sponsoring the Oneg in honor of their 50th wedding anniversary. Mazel Tov. We would also like to thank Stephen and Susan Charney for sponsoring the Oneg in memory of Jeremy Charney and in honor of their 49th anniversary. Mazel Tov. We'd also like to thank Andy and Jen Greenfield for sponsoring the Oneg in honor of their 17th wedding anniversary. Mazel Tov to you. We'd also like to thank the Epstein family for sponsoring the Oneg in memory of Helen Epstein. Join us on August 18th. Our prospective new members' Shabbat service will be held that Friday. If you know anyone interested in joining Temple Solel, please invite them to join us for our Shabbat service. And you and your guests will enjoy an oneg with wine, cheese, and hors d'oeuvres, followed by music by our cantorial soloist Todd Herzog with his musical ensemble accompanying our service. Torah study is held every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 and also serves as a minyan for those saying Kaddish. Torah study is on Zoom only for now. There is a tzedakah box. As you enter the sanctuary, we are raising money for the Justa Center, which provides services, resources, and support to assist homeless seniors. Our weekly e-news and our Friday evenings handout both contain opportunities to engage in the life of Solel. Take a moment to read it and get involved in any activity that appeals to you. And a reminder to be aware of your surroundings and make yourself aware of the exits. Remember, if you see something, say something. To make sure we can all enjoy Shabbat together in peace, please take a moment to verify that your cell phone and other electronics are silenced and put away in a purse or pocket. And let's welcome Shabbat, and Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Friends, I found a wonderful reading from Carrie Newcomer that I wanted to share with you as we start our service. It's called Showing Up. She says, "You are holy and sacred and utterly unique. There are gifts that you were born to give, songs that you were born to sing, stories you were born to tell. And if you do not give it, the world will simply lose it. It is yours alone to offer. No one can give it for you. And dearest, listen, because this is important. This wounded world needs all the songs that we can pull from the air, every story that helps us to remember. It needs every single gift, large and small. And yes, dearest, this grateful world does rejoice every courageous time that we are true to ourselves and to our gifts. And so it is, dear heart, we embrace the song and the story and all our gifts, because the world has such great need, and because the world exceedingly rejoices, and because there is no sadder thing than to leave this world having never really shown up. So may Shabbat help us to be open-hearted and courageous and emboldened to do the things that we can do in this world. So we will continue bringing in Shabbat with the lighting of the candles and with Kiddush, and I would like to invite up Lee and Jill Weiss to lead us in these blessings. And we'll turn in our prayer book to page 2. And there you should find the candle blessing, page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat.
The Kiddush is on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziyat מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
This week, we had a small Jewish holiday, Tu B'Av, the 15th of the Hebrew month of Av. And 2,000 years ago, during the Second Temple period, this was a day of joy. Nobody seems to exactly know why, but it was. And it became a day for matchmaking, that the young girls would go out all dressed up and hope to find their beau. And then for a long time, Tu B'Av was not really celebrated, but in the modern state of Israel, it has come back as sort of a Valentine's Day, a day of love. And so perfect for us to turn to page 11 and join together in Dodi Li, which is a beautiful love song from the Song of Songs. The rabbis say it's about God and Israel having this beautiful love relationship together. So join us, Dodi Li.
דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים, דודי לי מזאת עולה מן המדבר, מזאת עולה דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים, דודי לי מכותרת מור, מור ולבונה, מור ולבונה, דודי לי. דודי לי ואני לא הרואה בשושנים, דודי לי.
Please turn with me to page 65. Just a nice way to begin Shabbat with these thoughts. Let us praise Adonai, source of knowledge and light, from whom we draw wisdom and insight. Let us savor the fullness of each and every day and fill our souls with the treasures of Shabbat. And let us appreciate these distinctions: sacred from profane, charity from greed, and purpose from drift. It's page 65 for those still looking. 65. Let us affirm our covenant as God's people. Let us honor those who study Torah. Let us uphold the truth of ongoing revelation. Let us celebrate the glory of our tradition and draw refreshment from the well springs of prayer. Let us respect tradition and encourage creative faith. And let us dress ourselves in the garments of God, compassion for the needy, embrace of the stranger, and then spread the canopy of peace over all the world. Wouldn't that be lovely? So, two things I'd like to ask you to do. One is to turn to page 146. That's where we're going to be in a moment, page 146. And then as you rise for the Baruch, for the call to worship, please take a moment to turn to someone near you and to greet them if you don't know them, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Let's do what we can to get to know one another. So just take a moment to greet each other. Please rise, friends, in body or in spirit.
Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Do you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed le'olam va'ed Yalalai lai lai Yalalai lai lai Yalalai lai lai Yalalai lai lai
As we think of God as creator, please join me in the English on page 147. Adonai, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day in endless succession, and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, let not your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Ahavat Olam on 148.
Ahavat Olam Bet Yisrael Amcha Havta Amcha Havta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadeta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shofenu uvkumenu na'asiyach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei toratecha u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. And on page 150, speaking of ahava and love, we join in the Ve'ahavta, which encourages us to bring a sense of God's love out into the world. Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On page 151 is the Geula prayer, the prayer about redemption, which in Judaism, right, is about a very earthly redemption, about bringing more peace, more goodness, more freedom to this world. So please join me in this responsive version of it. We worship the power that unites the universe, a promise of harmony for all. Yet that oneness eludes our grasp as imperfection and evil abound. Before our eyes there is a vision of perfection, order, and goodness. There is evil enough to break the heart, and there is good enough to exalt the soul. When will redemption come? When we grant everyone what we claim for ourselves. Long ago we escaped the tyranny of Egypt. Our people saw the power of the Most High. We learned God's presence redeems time and event. So we celebrate this power that makes for freedom as we join in the Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילו עושה Adonai, Loch Leolam.
next prayer on page 153 is the sweet Hashkivenu, this beautiful, intimate prayer between us and God. God, help me to have a night of peace and rest. May I wake up in the morning renewed, ready to again try to help to make this world a better place. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim Ushmor tzeitenu Uvoenu Lechaim Ushalom Me'ata le'ad olam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
One of the things our prayers do is they help us to feel gratitude, to appreciate our blessings. But another thing that they do is to help us get beyond ourselves a little bit, to remember the wider world, what are our responsibilities to others and to this place, and also to think of friends and family who are in need of healing and renewal at this time. So every Shabbat, we stop and say a prayer to keep in our hearts those who are in need of uplift and healing. On this Sabbath, we think of Carol Brillman, Kit Kasich, Eileen Schwartz, Emmanuel Kalu, David Lieberman, Dara Marks Marino, Mindy Brandt, Leonard Harris, Narendra Sood, Marlene Tucker, Andre Sayapin, Dr. Charles Saperstein, Judy Cohen, Jay Berman, Lois Berman, Dave Nichols, Myra Greenberg, Leah Dombrow, Charlie Cornwell, Maureen Brunkhart, Mark Silverman, Marilyn Carson, Sandra Levitt, Yitzhak Waldbaum, Jessica Bovey, Joe Bovey, William Young, Sandra Barkov, Judy Seplow, Gary Pagin, Scott Tucker, Janice Rodell, Dr. Abraham Lieberman, Dr. Mark Tregub, Joseph Trovarelli, Dick Hart, Mark Zanchelli, Michael Braverman, Mort Dodek, Joni Thompson, and Sharon Keller. And I'll go around if anyone wants to mention any other names. At home, they want to mention names as well, and we keep them all in our prayers as we turn to the inside back cover of our prayer book for Todd Herzog's wonderful prayer for healing.
Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
El nar fana lam, fana lam. El nar fana lam, fana lam. Restore our strength of body.
Restore our strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our life.
Rejuvenate our life.
El nar fana la, fana la. El nar fana la, fana la. Thank you for all these blessings
Thank you for all these blessings.
throughout our days and nights.
Throughout our days and nights,
We celebrate the journey,
we celebrate the journey.
this precious gift of life.
This precious gift of life.
El nar fana la, fana la. El nar fana la, fana la. El nar fana la, fana la. El nar fana la, fana la.
We continue on page 155 and invite you to rise in body or in spirit for the Amidah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Libnei V'neihem L'ma'an Shemo V'Ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah Ata gibor le'olam Adonai Mechayei hakol Ata rav lehoshia Ma'orid hatal Mechalkel chayim bechesed Mechayei hakol berachamim rabim סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום מהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue in the middle of page 164 in community as we recite a prayer for peace, after which we will hear a beautiful musical setting for peace. Together, grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, havarech et amo Yisrael bashalom.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. B'tov beinecha levarev et Amcha Yisrael. B'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Invite you to take that Shalom Rav, that expansive peace, into your hearts and souls as we take a moment for silent prayer.
Ratson im refi Vegyon libi lefanecha Yehu leratson im refi Vegyon libi lefanecha Adonai Tzuri V'goali V'goali Yehu leratson im refi V'hegyon libi lefanecha.
Be nice just to hear that repeated for the rest of the service. Sir, for a moment, back in the book of Exodus, after the 10th plague, Pharaoh finally relents. Bitter with humiliation and beaten, he tells Moses and Aaron to be gone already. I let your people go. Foreseeing that Pharaoh would have a change in heart, God instructs Moses to take the people on the longer route to keep a step ahead of the pursuing Egyptians. And it proved to be a wise strategy as the Israelites safely crossed the Red Sea, leaving Pharaoh, his soldiers, and horses pursuing to drown in the sea. And we now, in this week's Torah portion, Ekev, find Moses 40 years later preparing the Israelites to cross into the Promised Land. It seems rather cruel, after 400 years of slavery in Egypt, that the bedraggled Israelites had to schlep through the wilderness for 40 years in what otherwise would have taken only a couple of weeks. Moses, who knows the days of his life are numbered, imparts his final words to give the Israelites strength, the strength they will need to prepare and cross the Jordan River. The first thing Moses does is to explain why so long. And he says, remember the long way the Lord your God has made you to travel in the wilderness these past 40 years. It was to test you by hardships, to learn what was in your hearts, whether or not you would keep God's commandment. God subjected you to the hardship of hunger and then gave you commandments. And then, following that, gave you manna to eat. Why? In order to teach you that man does not live by bread alone, but may live on anything that comes forth from the mouth of God. Therefore, keep the commandments of the Lord your God. Walk in God's ways. God puts the Israelites through a 40-year training camp, preparing them to survive and thrive in Israel and across the world and throughout the generations to our time. Yet, think about the specific hardships for a moment. What were the Israelites and what are we to learn from the hardships? The first test was the hardship of hunger. There would be no reason to choose this as a test if God and our biblical authors weren't certain that this would be a reality in the future. This would not have been chosen as a test if there wasn't a specific lesson for us to learn from it. Well, that specific answer is given. Lo al halechem levado yichye ha'adam. Man does not live by bread alone. This is a phrase known around the world, yes, by biblical scholars and those with no knowledge at all of Bible. So I'm curious. Most of you here tonight in the sanctuary and in your homes, have heard this phrase, man does not live by bread alone. So if you would, don't get stuck on man, the Hebrew translation of Adam. You can comfortably, with my permission, insert human beings. Human beings do not live by bread alone. So and this is not a rhetorical question, what does that mean to you? Your interpretation. Human beings do not live by bread alone. Don't be bashful. There are no wrong answers. I'm waiting. Really, what does it mean to anybody? Man does not live. Human beings don't live by bread alone.
Being dependent on one thing.
So say it again. Say that.
Being dependent on one thing
Yeah.
for survival, whether it's social media, whether
Yeah.
it's a certain kind of, we're talking about food, whether it's a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't live by this alone. There is something else. Yeah, Laura.
I would say that, to me, it means that not only do we live for food, but we live to share it with other people and to help other people.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Anything else? Not just bread alone? Appreciate both of those insights. Anything else? Going once. Yeah, Joan. It's more than just our physical bodies. We have spirituality as well. Joanne. Community. All of the above. All of the above. So first of all, you are great channels. Yes, I think we can agree that, and actually beautifully summed up by Rabbi Mark Saperstein, that the provision of basic physical needs, the satiation of hunger represented by bread, is not all there is to life. There is a spiritual dimension that makes human beings what we are. I love this idea, which is supported in our morning prayers. We thank God for the miracle of our physical beings, our bodies, if we're blessed, that carry us through the days and years of our lives. And immediately following the prayer for our bodies is the prayer praising God for our souls, pure souls that carry the very breath of God, physical and spiritual side by side. Yet the 40-year journey was much more than distinguishing the physical and the spiritual. It was about the wilderness experience itself. Could this experience provide a foundation for faith and trust in God that could withstand any hardships? Of course, this is the theological question for the ages. What reinforces a strong foundation of faith, one that won't crumble when our world is rocked in one way or another, natural disasters, or the corrosive side of humanity that does rear its ugly head? Well, the answer I would suggest is actually found in next week's Torah portion. Rabbi Steele, you'll forgive me if I'm taking any wind out of your sail. But within just a few verses, Moses, channeling words that flow from the mouth of God, says, and stick with me for a moment here. Moses says, "There shall be no needy among you. If, however, there is a needy person among you, do not harden your heart or close your hand against your kinsman. And then there will never cease to be needy ones in your land, which is why I command you, open your hand to the poor and the needy kinsmen in your land." So the Torah at once offers us a vision of the world as it should be. No needy. One that will imagine there's not a needy person on all the earth. But Judaism does not get stuck in a utopian world. It moves us closer to the world as it is. Perhaps we'll come across such a needy person in our own community. And if so, with an understanding of human nature, God implores us to not harden our hearts or close our hands. Then, preparing us for the moment of our lost innocence, recognizing that there will never cease to be needy ones, the hungry, the underserved, the unhoused, those without adequate health care and education, all the disparities that we can point to in our own community, and it's a reality around the world. The foundation of a faith life is built on a partnership. And now back to this week. Moses reminds the people, reminds us, what God did for us when we were hungry. God provided sustenance in the form of manna that fell from the sky. The Israelites had never experienced such nourishment. Yet there it was, from the benevolent hand of God. And then God commands us to walk in God's ways. Well, how, you might ask, can we, mere mortals, walk in God's way? Look at the model God sets before us. Gifts from heaven to the emancipated slaves. Walk in God's way, we imitate God. When we do this, and everyone in our sanctuary tonight and with us from your homes, you've experienced it. When we choose to open our hearts and our hands to others, a family, neighbors, the strangers in our midst, it's a human exchange that brings together the physical and the spiritual nourishment in our lives. It's where heaven and earth meet. It's a faith rooted in the interconnected partnership of all God's creation, being humble servants walking in God's ways. Someday, perhaps there will be no needy, no disenfranchised, all cared for, all seen and treated with dignity, all the earth singing in unison. But there's work to be done. Olam chesed yibaneh. Together, we build a world of kindness and love.
Olam chesed yibaneh, yadai, ladai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadai, ladai. Olam chesed yibaneh. I will build this world from love. La 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 la. You must build this world from love. La 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 la. And if we build this world from love, la 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 la. Then God will build this world from love. La 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. La 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 la. Olam chesed yibaneh. La 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 la.
When we think about not living by bread alone, we do think about that connection to God, but also about our connection with people who are really important in our lives. Often a spouse who walks beside us and makes our life so much more meaningful. And we have a tradition in our congregation of once a month offering a blessing for anniversaries. So if you have an August anniversary, I'd like to invite you to the Bima. August was a popular month. That's true. Yes. Wow, wow. So beautiful. So lovely. Come on up. Yes, great to have you here. So I know some of the numbers of years were mentioned earlier, but I would love to just go around. How many years? 60. 60, amazing. 65. Mazel tov. You guys?
I always do this legally, 17.
17, good number. 17. Awesome. And 30 and 50. Oh my gosh. Mazel tov to you all. Many, many more happy, healthy years. I have to say that I join you. This is my 30th. So, so to all of us, thank you. Yes. Exciting. And so here's a blessing, and then we'll all join in a Shehechianu.
Rabbi, you want me to read this so you can get it?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I can. Thank you, though. Adonai Eloheinu, ani l'dodi v'dodi li. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. God of all generations, we give thanks for the blessings that have graced these couples in their marriages. May this joy be with them always. May their way of life be loving and good. May they help each other to bear burdens, and may they share many joys together. Help them, dear God, to have a peaceful dwelling where contentment and love abide. May they maintain a home in which glows the light of faith and friendship, caring and respect. We pray that the years ahead may be years of health and happiness and blessing. God, watch over them now and forever. Amen. Amen. We'll join in a Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyemanu v'higyanu lazman hazeh.
And of course, for others at home who have an August anniversary also, but so glad you all came in, and Mazel Tov. May it just be a wonderful month and a wonderful year to you guys, to all of you. Mazel Tov. Thank you. To you guys, yes, oh my goodness, and amazing to think of all these years. So wonderful. So blessings and congratulations to all of you. Thank you. And I believe there's cake out there, you guys, so afterwards,
Congratulations.
got to have a little cake. I wonder if I could get, as we do a little transition here, I wonder if I could get Eleanor and Avery up for opening the ark for Eleni. We'll go from your parents to you guys. Page 282, my friends, as we think about taking our values with us out from the sanctuary. That's what the Aleinu is about. Please rise in body or in spirit for the Aleinu. Page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב עיקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
So much. Wish you guys all the best as you get ready for school. Please be seated. Here's a reading called Kaddish. Memories are the stones and mulch that shape the gardens of our lives. Sophie, Hannah, Moisha, Giddel, Susan, Harold, Miriam, Glenn, the naming of the dead wraps us in the shroud of their presence, and the thread of memories binds our voices and visions together. It was his heart, it just gave out. His mind wandered. My brother, he drowned. The car swerved on the ice. We bear so many losses, and each year there are more. Some hacked abruptly from our lives, some fading away with the pain and infirmity that says, enough already, it's time to let go. For some, the Kaddish holds us and rocks us with the sound and comfort that is hundreds of years old. For some, the bearing of witness among friends, the communal shedding of tears, floats us in the sea of grief and survival. And as we look up, we see the faces of our lost ones twinkling in the eyes of our children. It's by Alice Rothschild. And as we do every service, we think of our loved ones who have passed away, remembering them, keeping them in our hearts, and hearing their names. In the period of Shiva, having passed away and been buried in the last 7 days, Helen Epstein. In the period of Shloshim, the past 30 days, Diane Harris Klein and Suzanne Wasser. Within the first year, Farrell Sachs, Shirley Garfield, Alice Huffman, Nelson Lerner, Barbara Jackson Lipsman, Mona Ornstein, Audrey Horn, and Susan Leviton Taylor. And I didn't mention, but if you want to rise as the name of a loved one is mentioned, please feel free to do so. We're also remembering on their yortzites, their anniversaries of death, Dorothy Abush, Salek Alweiss, Bertha Belfer, Chaim Ben Dov, Howard Berkowitz, Yefim Brigadier, Elias Butchman, Esther Clement, Richard Dobos, Miriam Epstein, Rosalie Fox, Abe Glazer, Harold Gold, Ben Goldstein, Deborah Herzenberg, Linda Hurst, Harry Jaffe, Ida Jonas, Sarah Konevsky, Irving Kaplan, Sylvia Levine, Nathan Metz, Tanya Minkus, Julie Nierkin, Joseph Polonsky, Shepard Powell, Erwin Racine, Tulla Rosenhirsch, Max Rosenstock, Helen Scheinert, Jeffrey Shapiro, Rachel Simon, Milton Spiegel, Morris Splaver, Rosebud Splaver, Myra Stewart, Solomon Superfon, and Sonia Wolozhin. And I'll go around if anyone wants to mention anyone else. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be a blessing. I invite our community to rise as a community of mourners. And we turn to page 294, page 294 for the mourners Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha barichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom araba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May God bring comfort and solace to all who mourn, and may we also be of comfort to the bereaved. Amen.
Amen.
So I hope everyone will look in the handout, see the upcoming events. I particularly want to mention, because it's very important, that next week is our family service. Everyone is invited, but very importantly, we will have ice cream after the service. It is our back-to-school oneg, and so we hope that everyone will come and join us. But lots of other really important, wonderful events coming up, so please do check the handout. We're going to join in a motzi. Rabbi Linder, you can. All right. Everyone together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Amen.
It'll be at the Oneg table.
I'm proving that it is not poison, so now you can all share. We are going to join in Oseh Shalom. May we know peace here on earth, and we'll use that to end our service. Here we go.
עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm taking her home today, so don't let her tell you otherwise. I'm taking her home today, so don't let her tell you otherwise. Last 2 weeks ago, Mom was and it was like, Mom taking me home.
That I asked you.
Right.
Just check.
That would have been terrible.
I didn't hear everybody that did, but that's how they did.
Dear God. How's Pat doing anywhere?
Good.
Okay, so you're waiting for reading my stuff.
Yeah, I'm not off the grid.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know you're good. I'm Todd, Shabbat Shalom.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.